text I translated many years ago. Beautiful short text, which I'd now translate as Bringing Felicity and Adversity onto the Path, by a great 19th century, early 20th century Dzogchen master named Dodrupchen Rinpoche, who is very well known to Jikmé Tenpé Nyima. And it's a Lojong. It's a very quintessential Lojong, and it's completely embedded within a Dzogchen view. You see, it's not all Dzogchen, but it's you know the context. This is a great Dzogchen master, so he's going to teach from the perspective of Dzogchen. Why would he do anything less? And there's just one line there that I think is very relevant to us, particularly right now, at least as it is in my mind, and that is the nature of his whole text is transforming whatever comes up, whether we regard it as felicity or happiness, adversity or obstacles, problems, unhappiness, whatever comes up, to find a way to bring this onto the path, to incorporate this into your practice. That would be really modern terminology, to incorporate this into your practice. Not that it is your practice, because your practice is shamatha, or vipassana, or bodhicitta. That's your practice, that's your path. But you incorporate this into it, right? Rather than considering that this situation that's come up is somehow between you and your practice. The Tibetan term is very useful here. It's barchet, an obstacle that we translate very literally, very good translation, obstacle. A barchet is something that's in between. So there's Claudio over there. And if I wanted to get to Claudio, and you are kind of like a football player and you're blocking me, then you would be a barchet, which means you cut in between. You cut in between, right? So I want to get over to Claudio, but there it is. Can't get to him because he's stronger than I. And so it's very easy. We fall into this naturally because in our mundane world, we have all kinds of desires, and very frequently things get in the way. Something comes up. Oh, I have to answer this email. Oh, this. Oh, that. Now I can't do it. I was hoping to, and now I can't do it because something cut in between where we are and the goal of whatever particular desire we have, right? Barchet. And so that's bound to catalyze some kind of at least resistance or aversion, maybe resentment, hostility, and so forth and so on. So that's our pattern. There's barchet, there's obstacles, things that get in the way, that cut in between. And so as Dodrupchen so rightly says, I could really go on and on here, this is so enormously important. And it's kind of the key to whether your practice is going to be successful or not. That's how important. Right? And Dodrupchen says, in these degenerate era, in these degenerate times, if you don't know how to transform felicity into the path, then when felicity arises, you'll feel you don't really need dharma because samsara is pretty cool. So who needs it? There's no urgency because things are working out very well. You have a good new boyfriend, girlfriend. This has just worked out. You just got a new extreme makeover, looking pretty good. So I'm looking pretty good. Old age, I just bumped old age off for 10 years. Cool. I could die tomorrow, but at least I won't get old. I'm going to be looking good. That corpse in that box is going to be looking good. Oh yeah, extreme makeover just before you died. Cool, good move. We do want to look good after all this. Your final farewell. So he says, if you don't know how to transform felicity onto the path, then as soon as felicity comes up, you're going to suddenly find that you have better things to do than dharma. Because they're much, much quicker in giving gratification. There's the ice cream, eat it. It's that fast. But then, ice cream, fill in the blank. Especially in Italy, this is a major, major problem. Gelato is like, here's dharma, here's me, and gelato's in between. What do you do? But then, of course, adversity comes up. Things don't go right. And then we can't practice dharma because, I have to deal with this stuff. It really sucks. Samsara really sucks. Can't stand it. And so if that's the case, then you see there's basically no time for dharma at all. Because it's either good times or bad times. And either way, you'll find you have no time for dharma. So he said for in this era especially, if you don't know how to bring felicity and adversity onto the path, then your practice is going to be sporadic at best. It'll be in a weekend here or a sunny day there. It's going to just be those little intervals while you're not drawn away into samsara and you're not just trying to deal with barchet, obstacles. But the point I'm getting at in kind of a roundabout way is this, and it's really important. And that is, as he's presenting this beautiful text, quintessential, felicity, adversity, in terms of relative truth, in terms of ultimate truth. And every time it comes to ultimate truth, it's just straight Dzogchen. You know, Dzogchen is the ultimate Lojong, right? Resting in awareness and let everything just release itself and rise as aids to your path. So there it is. It's the ultimate Dzogchen, the ultimate Lojong. But the point is here, I'll finally say it, and that is when you're practicing Lojong, you're seeking to bring whatever comes up onto the path. You engage in this practice, you need to be specific. Because he gives very specific practices. When this happens, consider this. When this happens, adopt this attitude. This happens, transform it in this way. Very specific, one by one, laying out in detail. Same thing happens in 7-point mind training. A lot of detailed practices there, right? He said when you're practicing Lojong, then you need to be very specific. As some felicity comes up, adversity comes up, you don't just generally think, well, I'm just practicing Dharma. My life is Dharma. That's very sweet, but probably vacuous in terms of content. You know, just kind of a generic idea. I'm a good person. I'm a Dharma person. You need to be specific and know, and here's the deal. Do the practice, specific practice with a name to it, and know that you're doing it. This is the theme I emphasize a lot. Do the practice correctly, and know you're doing it correctly. Whether it's awareness of awareness, whether it's vipassana, whether it's cultivating empathetic joy, do it correctly and know you're doing it correctly. Those are two different things, but it's not enough to do it correctly. Because you can be doing it correctly and not know you're doing correctly, and then keep on having afflictive uncertainty.